So, the Steam controller is good for Steam. That sounds lazy, but it's actually the whole problem and compliments in one sentence. Valve is trying to make PC gaming feel less like a desk and more like a console. But there is a catch, and we'll come back to that later. Is this the controller that finally makes PC gaming work from the sofa, or is it just a clever Steam accessory that falls behind proper performance pads? I tested it on PC across shooters, controller-friendly games, big picture mode, and more mouse and keyboard focused games. This feels like Valve hardware, solid and odd. You get TMR sticks, trackpads, haptic grips, Steam input, back buttons, gyro, and magnetic charging. At $99, for me, it has to justify itself against controllers like the Vader 5 Pro and the GameSir G7 Pro. As a Steam controller, are the inputs sharp enough to match the hype? So why should you listen to me? I've spent the last 10 years working as a video editor in the games industry, and I've put over 35,000 hours into playing games myself. Skill-wise, I was once top 500 in the world for Fortnite wins, still in my 30s. So that's why when I review a controller, I use my expertise to create damage per session review matrix. 6 key categories that break through the marketing noise and that actually matter. Let's get into it. The sticks are good. They're TMR, so you're getting magnetic stick tech built for drift resistance. But they feel a bit sluggish. The controller runs at 250 Hz. Average players may not notice, but RPGs, strategy games, slow-paced adventures, you'll probably be fine. But I main FPS games. Tiny delays matter. When you use sharper pads, you feel the difference. Keep that 250 Hz point in mind because it matters when we get to the value. The face buttons are okay. They're membrane, they work. Nobody's going to cry into cereal about them. Compared to mechanical buttons, they feel like a step back though. The D-pad is also fine. It's not horrible, it's also not premium in my opinion. The triggers themselves are also basic because there's no trigger stops, but they do have a nice curve which makes them ergonomic. So this is a new one for this segment really, because I've not really had to do trackpads before, but here's my opinion about them. They are really cool. The haptic feedback feels great when you're moving your hand across it and you can literally tell what your thumb is doing. When playing RTS games, or when I'm playing games that are more mouse and keyboard focused, especially with the menus, I know all of you controller players out there feel me when you have to move the cursor rather than it snapping to the actual UI. It does become a lot more useful. It is handy, but there is no way that the trackpads are going to replace anything the sticks have to offer for me. So I guess in a way for me, it kind of leans more gimmicky than it does revolutionary. Oh, don't kill me for saying that. So my damage per session score for performance is a 3.5 out of 5. The tech is clever, but not sharp enough to replace a serious FPS controller. But none of that matters if your hands hate it after 2 hours. So how does it feel after a proper session? At first, the Steam controller feels pretty large. Not unusable, just big enough that your hands go, wow, this is a big boy. But the shape is clever. It has a nice ergonomic curve, and early on, I liked it more than I expected. The matte plastic helps too. It has a slight roughness and it feels good in the hand. For shorter sessions, it absolutely works. But after a few hours, the weight and the size did start to bother me. My hands began to ache and my grip changed to compensate. And that moved my hands away from the back buttons, which is weird. But remember that grip shift because it changes how useful the back buttons usually are. This starts comfortable, then becomes, why am I holding a Steam branded kettlebell? So my damage per session score is a 3.5 out of 5. Good shape, nice texture, too heavy over long sessions. But does the physical build at least feel like it will last? Build quality is classic Valve. It feels super solid. No creaking, no flex, no loose parts. The sticks, triggers, and trackpads all feel durable. The membrane buttons do not feel cheap, just less premium than what I regularly use. So my build quality score is a 5 out of 5. Connection on PC was super easy too. The magnetic puck handles the 2.4 GHz connection and makes charging simple between sessions. For someone like me, that is perfect. I'm not playing 10-hour marathon sessions. I'm a dad. I haven't had over an hour to myself for over a decade now. There were no dropouts, no pairing drama, no weird connection nonsense. But the wider Steam living room setup does still have a bit of friction because Big picture mode can be awkward. Some games did not close properly, sometimes my PC tabbed out when booting up a game, and then I had to restart the whole process, which got me out of my seat. The controller connects beautifully though. The ecosystem still needs to feel smoother. But alas, my connectivity score is a 5 out of 5. The hardware feels strong and the connection works flawlessly. But does the customization justify choosing this over a traditional performance controller? This is the biggest question of the whole video. The customization is ridiculous. You can map trackpads like extra D-pad inputs, build radial menus, tweak layouts per game, and use touch-sensitive haptics on the grips to trigger gyro? But remember the comfort issue? The controller does have ergonomic back buttons. I could reach all of them comfortably at first, but when my hands got tired, my grip shifted, and then those back buttons stopped lining up as naturally as I wanted. So yes, the feature is there, but comfort affects how useful it feels. The back buttons are also fine, but they're not top tier. They have a deeper activation and do not click quickly. For competitive play, they do not feel sharp enough for me. And I miss top claw style buttons like the Vader 5 Pro and the GameSir G7 Pro. Steam input is powerful, but there are menus inside menus inside menus. If you just want to set your buttons once and play, it can get annoying. Steam remembers custom profiles for each game, but I wanted one universal master profile. Set it once, leave it alone, done. Instead, every new game made me stop and apply my template again. Not the end of the world, but also, come on. Yet my customization score is a 5 out of 5. The feature set is massive, but at $99, how much of that value are you actually going to use? The Steam controller is worth it if you're buying into Steam. For the technology, trackpads, haptics, magnetic puck, Steam input, and couch PC dream, yes, I totally get it. But now, the earlier points come back. 250Hz polling, no trigger stops, membrane buttons, deeper back buttons, missing claw buttons, heavy long session feel. None of those ruin the controller, but together they do define it. Judged purely as a controller, it has obvious gaps. No 1000Hz polling, no trigger stops, no mechanical buttons, no claw triggers, no faster back buttons, no onboard button remapping. Against the Vader 5 Pro or the GameSir G7 Pro, it is missing features I expect from a serious performance controller. If you are a Steam enthusiast, Steam Deck owner, or a PC gamer who wants a couch setup, this makes loads of sense. If you mainly play competitive FPS games, I would not buy this. I would go for the Vader 5 Pro or the GameSir G7 Pro instead. So to summarize my damage per session scores, stick and button precision is 3.5 out of 5. Ergonomics and long session comfort is 3.5 out of 5. Build quality and longevity is a 5 out of 5. Connectivity and platform compatibility is a 5 out of 5. Custom and feature set is also a 5 out of 5. And the value versus price or return on fun is a 4.5 out of 5. So what's my final verdict? The Steam controller is great for Steam. Do not mistake it for the best controller for every game. If your idea of a relaxing evening is sweating in ranked FPS lobbies, this is not the one. But if you want Steam on the sofa without reaching for a keyboard every 5 minutes, Valve might have built the controller that makes that dream feel much less stupid.